when we caught the big tarpon in Colombia, everybody was just, bah, like screaming and yelling, going crazy. Dude, it was the real deal. That fish was 300 pounds. I don't care what anyone says. And um, I wish I killed it. I really I've never killed a tarpon in my life to this day, and it just wasn't in my brain. It was like, let's let him go. Knowing what I know now, if I would have gotten a bone mount like that of that tarpon, it would have been worth over $1 million. So yeah, I would have hired a plane to come pick it up, knowing what I know now.
And how did it start out? Like, what was the origin story?
Too much alcohol.
Really? Okay.
Says if God wanted us to have fiberglass boats, he would have given us fiberglass trees.
It's for fishermen. It's not for taking the wife and the wife's friends.
I think that it's a really, really pretty bit.
And then there was a blur that went by and ended up in the cockpit, as far as if I can remember correctly.
What's up, everyone? This is Leo from the Billfish, State of Sportfishing Podcast. We're back, and we're joined today by none other than Josh Jorgensen. I hope I pronounced that right. From BlacktipH. Josh, what's up?
How's it going, man? It's going good. How are you doing?
Welcome to the pod. Doing great, man. I'm really happy that we were able to get this going. We've always looked up to you from the beginning when you started your channel, and I mean, the rise has been amazing. I mean, I have little cousins that come up to me, are like, "Oh my God, BlacktipH." I'm like, "Yeah." We speak on Instagram. We're like, "Oh my God." So yeah, it's you made it, man. So really, really cool.
No, it's very humbling, and I'm gonna give honestly, one thing I learned when I was going through cancer is, we're not in control of a lot of things that we think we are, and even the success of our life or in our life. Like even me, I realized that yes, I have achieved a form of success, but it's not by my own hands, and I give God all the glory for that, because what happened to me could have happened to me at any time. So at any moment, like I'm not even joking you, I was filming a show with Paramount the week before I went into the hospital. The day before, I was with Trump Jr. fishing for snook on the beach, and the next day I woke up in so much pain. I went to the hospital, and then they rushed me to emergency surgery, and it was a downhill slope from there. Wow. That's how fast it happened.
Let me ask something. It's kind of really not where I thought this conversation would go at this stage, but if you were to die tomorrow, would you say you have lived your life to the fullest at the time you were here?
When I was going through the chemo and the cancer and all this stuff, I said, you know what? I'm if I die, I'm happy. I lived a pretty good life. I got to do a lot of really great things, and I have no regrets. I treated people correctly. I didn't lie, cheat, steal. I didn't clickbait and manipulate to get my audience. I did it with the highest integrity that I possibly could, and I'm very proud of that. And it was weird. Like the first week of getting chemo, I don't know how spiritual you are, but I was the first day I was pretty nervous. I didn't know what to expect. But my heart got settled, and the Lord said to me, "What have you done for me with what I've given you?" So, it's one thing that I'm going to do going forward is giving God a lot more glory, because I should have been dead 5 times in the last 6 months. So, there's a reason why I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But if I was willing, what, if the Lord said that is my time, whatever, I feel like I said, I lived a great life, no regrets.
Steve Jobs once said that you should live every day as if it were your last. And and I think what people really miss out on is that he also said, if the answer is no too many days in a row, because not everything, you're not going to live every day if it's your last, but if it's no for too many days in a row, you should probably change something that you're doing. Or would you say that because you've been going so hard at content and everything that you do, would you say that you've still lived your life to the fullest because you find enjoyment in that?
I got to live my career to its fullest, but I realize now that my priorities are shifting. I want to spend more time with my kids. I realize my business doesn't need me as much as I think it does. I realize that numbers are just numbers, whether it's money, whether it's views, whether it's followers, they're just numbers. They're not, it's not real. People are real. And just be content with what you have, be grateful. I mean, there was a period where I couldn't eat food, so if you get to enjoy food tonight, there's a lot of people that don't. I'm not talking just starving people. I'm talking people that just medically they can't eat. It's very easy for us to take for granted the little things. When I had the surgery, the really bad one, I couldn't breathe for 3 days, dude. Like it was really, really, really bad. Like it was, if I had to choose between doing that and dying, I'd rather die. Like that's how bad it was. There's a point I learned with this experience that once the suffering reaches a certain level, it's just better to die. Modern medicine's great, but there's a point where, let's leave gracefully. Suffering and being in agony is not a way of life. It's not a life. And I don't mean to say that in a depressing way, but I just realized that, yeah, we want to fight to stay alive, and I did, but there comes a point where you got to let go. And if you've treated people correctly and you've done the right thing, you kept your word, you maintain your honor, and you were a good person, and above all, your heart is right with God, not a big deal.
What's something that you say is on your to-do on your list of things that you absolutely need to do once you're back in action 100%? Is there something that you say, or a few things that you can say, like, hey, I want to go?
There's no one fishing trip that I want to do. What I want to focus on is becoming a student again, learning. I want to learn from everybody. I want to challenge myself as an angler. I want to, because in terms of new species and that, there really isn't much left to catch for us. BlacktipH on there, we caught a lot. I mean, yeah, there's some new species and you catch in the Indian Ocean and, in the Pacific. But there's there's a couple of billfish I still need to catch, but it has to be more about the journey and not the result.
Yeah. So who's someone you want to learn from? Is there someone that you'd say, like, wow, I really look up to him or her? You would like to be in a cockpit and learn from or fish with?
Honestly, there is no one person. I just want to learn. I want to take because there's so many great people out there, right? And people do things differently. So what I like to do, what I have done in the past, is I take from this person what I like and I apply it to my method. Or the more people I can spend time with and learn from, the happier I'm going to be. Like, honestly, like I would love to spend more time with, Anthony's crew from Bad Company. I can't wait to go out with them and learn how they rig, watch how they set up their spread. I just want, that's the stuff that really interests me. Like, wow, like I'm the guy that I like to watch what people use rubber bands for. I like to look how do you use a rubber band? What are you securing? Like, how can I make my method better? Just as simple as, I learned a trick from a guy in Alabama, putting an egg sinker on your, like keeping a big egg sinker, like an 8-ounce or a 12-ounce egg sinker. Like normally that is just a nightmare to deal with, especially when you're running the boat because it can come loose. But he showed me a trick just to secure that around your guide where it doesn't bang up the rod. It wraps around the reel nice. It's a really neat presentation, and you just pull the band off, ready to fish. That kind of stuff intrigues me.
I see. Yeah. I'm sure Anthony and Steve have a lot of years of a lot of long thoughts that they've used to come up with some neat things. How did you guys even meet?
I met Anthony, actually, I started talking about Facebook. I heard about him. I was like, man, I was like, what's up, dude? heard you like fishing. Whatever kind of, I don't remember what it was like, but like then we started chatting and talking on the phone, and then he invited me to Meg Bay, and then bought a house here in Florida, and now we hang out all the time.
Got it. Okay. And you've never fished with him yet?
No, I've fished with Anthony before.
Oh, you have
Yeah.
fished. Okay.
Yeah, I just haven't gone on the world tour yet.
Got it. Where did you
I
guys?
wasn't. I was supposed to go, but my brother and Davis went instead.
Got it. And how and where did you guys fish together?
We fished here in Florida, and we fished in Meg Bay
Oh, that's right.
together.
That's right. And how what was it like? How was Mag Bay?
Meg Bay is incredible. I mean, it's you know, it's so easy you forget how incredible it is. Like one of the coolest moments for me was jumping in the water and seeing the marlin. I was like, whoa, like this is really, really cool. Like, and the only thing that I wish I had on that trip, I wish I had better cameras, like just so we could capture it better, but it's really incredible to see a bait ball like that and see hundreds of marlin feeding on it. I mean, it's an endless supply of marlin.
Crazy, huh? How much did you guys
It really is. For me?
How much did you guys release? How many?
We caught 300 in 2 days.
200 days.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, right? I mean, it doesn't even sound believable. I think we burned through 100 hooks in the first 2 hours or something like that.
Wild.
Yeah.
Oh
you run out of bait, man.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You can keep going as long as you. So Anthony, man, we need to have like a bait boat following us where we can just keep like fill it with thousands of baits. And you could catch 500 in a day, no problem.
Yeah. Whew. Someone has to invent that, huh? Freaking support vessel for like just bait.
Yeah, just have a bait boat with you, a center console. We do it here in Florida with you go in the inlets and you can see the bait guys. They have hundreds and hundreds of gogs and sardines. So you get a big 40-foot center console, or something like a big Seaver contender, and you put two giant drums on it. You can do it.
Good to go.
Yeah, it's a support vessel. That's just there to hold bait.
I would be like bad company supports support.
Exactly. Bait is the most important thing, and I tell people like I think lure fishing is awesome, whether you're jigging, whether you're trolling, whatever it may be. But to me, there's something about keeping bait alive, keeping it happy, penning it up, transporting it, like in a truck, transporting the bait, putting it on air, transporting it, while you're trailing your boat. Like that is like, it gets very technical, and you can't screw up, because if you screw up, they're dead.
Yep.
How close is your pen to your boat when you're washing your boat with soap? You can't let your soap get in there; it'll kill your bait. Like you gotta be really careful.
Yeah, and you gotta watch out too with like, what if for some reason your live wells go out?
Exactly.
Happens.
Yeah. It's the ocean. It's a boat. I mean, the two don't work together. I mean, yeah, it's built for it, but like the moment salt water hits anything, it destroys it.
Yeah. Tell me. Yeah. Okay. Well, tell us a little about yourself for people who don't know. How did you kind of get into fishing?
Well, I started fishing when I was very young. I grew up on the water in Canada, actually. So I started off fishing off the dock, catching bass and bluegills and carp, catfish, and all that fun stuff, carpike. And then, started moving up in the freshwater world. And then when I was 13, my parents got a place down in Florida. And I started beach fishing for sharks. And that was just like, wow, this is incredible. So I catch blacktip sharks on the beach. And people would call me the blacktip hunter. And that's where blacktip came from. The H stands for hunter. And then just my appetite for saltwater fishing just had no end. And as I moved up, so I would go on the drift boats and fish in the drift boats because I couldn't afford a boat, so I'd go in the $40 drift boat for the day and I'd catch a kingfish or a bonita, and I'd be so happy. And then I started renting I'd go to the rental boats, the ones that like they're just so beat up, like nothing works. You hope the bottom machine works. Like I'd bring a portable handheld GPS with me to find my numbers, The live wells didn't work. You'd have to put the saltwater wash down in the live well to keep the bait alive. Like, but that's why I learned how to fish around here, and then slowly move my way up.
Wow. That's wow. So wow. Okay, so that's kind of a different story than usual.
Yeah,
But
right.
I respect it. Yeah. Start from
Yeah.
the bottom. Now you're here. Really cool.
Yeah, start literally from the bottom.
Yeah, and the honey from the bottom from Canada. Jeez.
Yeah.
And then when did the whole media side of things come into play?
The media?
Just like the YouTube and stuff. When did that come into play?
So I started uploading
Was
YouTube.
this like after the drift boat fishing?
No, before that. So in 2004, I caught my first shark from the beach, and no one believed me in Canada that I caught it from the beach. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna film it. So I think I uploaded the first video in 2006, and I uploaded it to YouTube because that was like the video. There was YouTube and Meta Cafe back then.
Wow.
I don't know if do you remember Meta Cafe? Yeah, it was pre-YouTube. There's eBombs World and Meta Cafe. That's what was before YouTube, and so I uploaded it to YouTube. YouTube started in 2005. I started up in 2006 to my first channel that doesn't exist anymore. And I uploaded it to share with people in Canada because they didn't believe me. And it started getting views, and then it started getting more views. I guess I was one of the first people to ever upload land-based shark fishing videos to YouTube. So it took off, and then I made more. And then in 2010, I bought my first POV camera, like it was pre-GoPro. Like it's called a Contour HD. I actually have it right here. I'll show it to you. Look, hold on. I've kept it. I want to frame it. This is it right here. This is the camera.
Wow.
So I'd wear this. I had a circular polarizer on there, and I would wear this. It was for snowboarding. So you would slide it on like so.
Yeah.
And I was the first person to ever film POV fishing, and you'd wear like this, and I'd have it on the side of my head, and then you just slide it forward. So all these, also they were the first videos that I know of that was just like that. That was 2010, and then those went viral, and then so then I came down to Orlando in 2011. So it's really interesting actually. So when I graduated high school, I was obsessed with quantum
Mechanics, physics.
Yep, that's it. Sorry.
No
So I got an internship at Wayne State University, and I got to work in a really incredible laboratory, and I was going to get a PhD in physics. I originally wanted to go to MIT, but it was like $52,000 a year. And I was like, no way am I paying that much money or going in that much debt. So I got an internship at Wayne State. I did that for 2 years. I got bored. Not the internship, with the school. I loved the internship. It was the best thing ever. I got to do some really cool stuff. So then I took a year off, worked in IT at my dad's company, and then I moved to Orlando, went to Full Sail, and got a degree in programming. And then by the time I graduated in 2014, the YouTube channel took off. And it was making enough money to sustain me. So I was like, oh, I'll just do this. So I didn't program or any of that stuff. I mean, well, I did actually. So in 2007, I created a tournament called the BlacktipH Challenge, and I ran that for 8 years. And I built the first ever fishing tournament app by myself. That was my school. Yeah, I built the whole thing. It corrected cheating. It corrected everything.
That was before Stat came along and those things.
Way before all that stuff. Yeah, I built it in PHP fuel framework. The PHP fuel framework, and it was really, really cool. I tried to patent the technology, but I couldn't. So, but then the tournament it was shark fishing. And it started. That's when sharks started becoming like whales, and everyone was like, "Oh, poor sharks." So I just shut down the tournament. It was at the time the largest surf fishing tournament in Florida. We had over 300 people participating.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
What year was this?
That tournament ran from 2007 to 2016, and I took a year off, and I didn't run the tournament.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, no one knows about the tournament. I mean, except the shark fishing community.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. I'm not part of that, but
yeah, I'll show you. Look, go to. I can share my screen, right?
Share screen.
Yeah.
Maybe-
Okay. You can do it. So go to Google and type in blacktipchallenge.com.
Okay.
So I built that whole website from scratch. I built my own CSS framework from scratch.
BlacktipH challenge.
Yep. Right there, the top one right there. Yep. Now it's probably not going to work anymore because I haven't updated the thing. But if you go, yeah, this is the website. I built this whole thing from scratch, but it's actually an app. So if you go to, no, it's not going to show because the tournament's not active. If you go up the top, you might.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you see down at the bottom, it says application, but it's all locked out because there's nothing there.
Got it.
But yeah, I produced shows with this tournament.
Look at this guy wearing a hooded long sleeve. Probably invented the thing. I don't know they're about. Oh wait, this is recent, isn't it?
This one was what year was this? That's 2015.
Let me go to one of the old ones. 2008. Look at that. 10 senator reels.
Yeah, this is old school stuff, man.
This is before the TLDs and Turnos and.
I think there was TLDs back then. I don't remember. I think there was.
Oh, there was. It was the old version. The twin. I think. Yeah. It was 20.
Go to 2009. So we filmed a documentary with Spielberg. Not Spielberg. I can't remember. You can see the film crew right there. Spiegel TV in Germany.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And we produce an original series every year. Yeah, so that's what really got me into learning more about production was this. And
that 130 pen senator right there.
Yeah, the 14-aught.
Oh, the 14-aught. Yeah, this is before my time.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, look at that.
There's the contour. There it is.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pre-GoPro.
Pre-GoPro. Yeah. That's wild.
So yeah, I built this whole thing. Made I had great pride in that. I spent a lot of time building it, but the way the application works is great. Like, because I realized people are really bad at making decisions or typing stuff in. So I spent many hours writing all the code to help people from preventing errors. Because I didn't want to deal with it. I was like, I'm just gonna write it all in code so I don't have to ever deal with customer support. It was fully automated.
Wow, that's awesome. And
I want to get back into programming, but that's why, dude, I see some of the stuff that's made. I look at it and go, because you got to remember, I see this entire thing differently than 99% of fishermen because of my background, right? Like I actually understand how everything's working. Mm-hmm. I understand how the algorithms are working. I understand how to manipulate them. I understand all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's really helped contribute to my success.
About to say, exactly. So you understand algorithms. And so again, a little bit off topic, but what do you think about the AI stuff that we're seeing nowadays?
There's no such thing as AI. So AI is it's binary. All code is binary. It's still punch cards. So the first computers were just holes. Either it was a hole or it was not a hole. It was a punch card, and that's what it still is today: zeros and ones. So AI is, without going into a really long conversation about the stock market, AI is even ChatGPT. I've done a full test on it. It's trash. The information it gives you is really unreliable. So don't use it for anything that's legal. It's just a data scraper, man. It's a real-time data scraper. That's all it is.
It's like instead of 10 blue links as a search function, it kind of just gives you those.
It's a data scraper, yeah. It's scraping data or pulling data from APIs and it's learning. It's like, okay, let's say you have thousands. It's connected to thousands of APIs. You know what an API is?
I know, but if you could explain, it would be great.
So an API is a way, so Facebook, YouTube, and other not programs, websites, and just applications, we can say like that. They give you access to their data via an API. So it's a funnel that gives you access to the data, so you can process it and do something with it, right? So like if I wanted to, I would call the YouTube API, and I wanted to figure out how many views I'm getting on videos that have sharks in the thumbnail or whatever. I mean, that sounds ridiculous, but or sharks in the title. I could literally call the API, write a command, look for the keyword shark, and that's how I access that data through an API. So that's all it is. It's accessing an API, and it's data scraping, and it's putting it together. And this is a really simplified version. It's more complicated than that, but is it really scary? I mean, is it going to get really good? Yeah, but I was telling people about this, and any program would tell you this was coming years ago. Because we programmed ourselves out of a job. Everything became frameworks. I remember, so when I went to school, a programmer average salary was $120,000. By the time I graduated in 2.5 years, that same salary was 40 grand. They're just we programmed ourselves out of a job. Everything's templates now. Nobody builds custom websites. They go to Shopify if they want a store. They go to GoDaddy if they want to just build a website. That nothing's custom anymore. Even apps like on iOS or Android, they're just all frameworks. Very few things are original.
Interesting. That is interesting. And you think that gives you a big edge? I mean, I would totally think so.
I mean, I think so, because I understand how things work. That's why YouTube now it really bothers me, because it's not about it's full of cheaters. Everyone's a clickbaiting cheater, and it bothers me.
Who can rig the algorithm or
it's not about, there's no respect with your fellow creator anymore. Everyone is just lying, cheating, clickbaiting, whatever it takes to get views. Cheating, making up thumbnails, making up titles. I mean, how do you compete with that? Or putting half naked women in the thumbnails. I mean, it's become, and I told YouTube years ago, I think it was in 2016, 2017, I said, guys, you got to do something about this, because it's going to be the end of your platform. If this whole thing becomes nothing but a gigantic clickbait clown festival, people are going to walk away. Parents won't let their kids watch. It's not what it was. I've been on YouTube for a very, very long time, and there was a mutual respect between creators. There was a community, and that's been destroyed. There is no community anymore. Everyone just does. Everyone's just one up in the next person, and I'm sick of that. I want nothing to do with that, and I won't participate in that. I'll just do my own thing and forget everybody else.
One thing I noticed is when I look at the more popular YouTube videos, it's like there's like cuts every 2 seconds. It's just
they're cutting them like TikTok videos.
It's insane. It's like dopamine on steroids. Like every single 2 seconds, there's like a cut, and it's something different happening, and it's almost like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it's not good. People need to. What I'm noticing with the fishing community, it kind of saddens me, because everybody is trying to become this create a viral video now. It seems like everybody, right? And I'm just like, go out there and enjoy the moment, right? Like, just enjoy the moment, right? You don't need to whip out your phone. And I do that because it's my livelihood, right? But you know what? If I had a way of making money where I could fish as much as I do now, I wouldn't be out there holding a phone and getting all this stuff. I would just enjoy the moment, because I've realized after making as much videos as I have, when you are filming, most of the time, I only remember what we filmed. I don't remember what happened off camera. So your memory is channeled through the lens, and that's not always a good thing.
What do you think about people kind of being very aggressive in the comment section? And let's say you have.
Who cares?
No, I get it. But like, let's just say you have a kid who just caught his first blue marlin, and it's something that I guess care a little about, because I see people on Instagram especially, celebrating because they caught their first bluefin tuna and whatever, and they're like super, super happy and are screaming or yelling or whatever. And people nowadays in the comment section are just so, it's almost they don't want to see someone else shine, you know what I mean? Or be happy because they didn't do it exactly the way that they think it should be done.
I'm so numb to it now because I literally grew and saw the hatred grow. I don't care anymore. If someone has to go and try to be negative, good for you, buddy. I hope it makes you happy. Whatever makes you happy. If you want to be miserable and you're trying to make others feel miserable, it's really sad. But and you know what? Honestly, what I say now when people are negative, I said, man, because like, dude, I just went through a life-changing event, right? So if somebody is being a nasty person, I just tell, man, that guy needs Jesus, man. That guy needs to be saved because he's just way off the charts. You know, like this is not normal behavior. You're not supposed to, like, there is no joy in hating on someone else's success. If someone just catches a great fish, someone gets whether you're a snook fisherman or marlin fisherman or shark fisherman, if someone gets a great fish, congratulate the guy. It's not, what does every fish have to be yours? Does every spotlight have to be with you in it? Like it's dangerous. It's forming a narcissistic personality disorder, you know, like where they have to have this constant flow of attention. Like, I need attention. The attention is like, it's not healthy. You need to learn how not to have attention. But yeah, you just gotta ignore it, man. I mean, I saw it when we caught the big tarpon in Colombia. Everybody, there was that cough. When we caught the big tarpon in Colombia, everybody was just, bah, you know, like screaming and yelling, going crazy. Dude, it was the real deal. That fish was 300 pounds. I don't care what anyone says. And I wish I killed it. I've never killed a tarpon in my life to this day, and it just wasn't in my brain. It was like, well, let's let him go. Knowing what I know now, if I would have gotten a bone mount like that of that tarpon, it would have been worth over $1 million. So yeah, I would have hired a plane to come pick it up, you know, knowing what I know now.
Yeah.
But you know, you make decisions and it is what it is.
That's a real one. So let's kind of shift gears a little bit. What would you say is your most memorable experience while in the water? I'm going to limit it to offshore fishing. And what makes it the most memorable experience?
So many, but I would say recently, I'd have to say the Warsaw grouper we caught, because it took 3 years to catch it. I mean, there was so much effort and there was so many conversations about it. You know, like we're the first ones to film it ever. You know, like a big Warsaw like that. Not if you type in Warsaw grouper on YouTube, there is not many at all. I think we're the only one, and it was the hardest fish to catch. You know, for us, like I said, it took me 3 years. It cost over $10,000 to catch that fish.
Wow.
Just didn't fuel.
Yeah.
And we weren't taking out sport fish. We're taking out center consoles 140, 150 miles off, you know, offshore. But just how everything came together, we got it. You know, it was amazing. You know, and we worked really hard. Like I said, for 3 years to try to get that fish. It's not something you can do all the time, because like you're going out 130, 160 miles. You're going really far. You can't just do that every day.
And how does that work? So tell us a little bit about that day. What was it like? Just for people who are not familiar with grouper fishing in general.
When we got out there, so these Warsaws, this was so interesting about them, is they only bite a few times a day. They bite in the morning and the evening, and then they bite at a random time during the day. And that's what I've learned. I mean, you know, but it's a fish you just don't get a lot of practice with. You know, I was with my buddy Jason Boyle, and he's the man when it comes to catching Warsaws. And I'll put it this way: we caught the one Warsaw. We caught it just before sunset. Okay, they dropped baits all night long, right? Catching big amberjacks, and they were trying to catch other fish down there, and we didn't even see another Warsaw, right? I mean, they were down there, but you know. And I'll never forget the second time we went out, This was wild, man. So we're out there, we're fishing for hours. All of a sudden, 4 130s bent over, and we hooked 4 at once. And then after, they bit for like 30 minutes, and that was it. You shut off the rest of the day.
Wow.
That was it. That was your shot, and I lost the fish. So upset.
But was it a quad?
Yeah, I think we hooked 3 or 4 at once, and I don't remember. I'll be honest. Ever since I had the chemotherapy, and all this stuff, it's just my memory. It's getting better, but it's not to what it was. But those fish are they're miserable. I mean, they're really, really hard to catch. Like it's like if I was to compare them to a billfish, I would say they're a lot like a black marlin. From my experience with black marlin, they're a lot more cautious than a blue marlin. A blue marlin comes, bang, he's ready to go. But the black marlin just goes, should I eat it? Should I not eat it? We had a 500-pounder. I was with Guy Harvey. We were at Tropic Star, and he followed the bait for, I don't know, 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. And then he's just about to eat it, and a stupid dolphin, like a mammal, came in and grabbed it out of his mouth. I'm not even joking. Can't make it up, but like he just sat there and he followed and we had a live bonita, right? It wasn't like a pitch bait. And he was just sitting there looking at it like, oh, that's it. That's nice. There's like that's what I would make it equivalent to like they're a frustrating fish to catch, Warsaws.
And what
You don't see many. I could be completely wrong, but what is it? There might be. I think there's less than 50 caught in the entire United States in a year. It's pretty rare.
Yeah, of course. And what was the fight like?
Oh, dude, they fight so hard. It's like a yellowfin tuna and a grouper together. They take burning runs.
They circle. No, they circle as well.
No, he floats up. So we caught him in 500 feet of water, 600 feet of water. So once they hit a certain depth, they blow up. Like any deep water fish.
Got it.
That was such a cool fish, though, man. It's just to see that. Do you ever see a picture of it?
I haven't. No.
Oh, here, share the screen so people can see. Just type in Warsaw grouper on Google. You'll probably find it. Yeah, just go to images. Oh yeah, find it for sure there.
This thing?
Yeah. Go to this one right here, the one over here. Yeah, dude, it's look at those spines, bro. Go to the one. There's that one right there. That fish was crazy, dude. Here's the Fox News article about it down there. Look at that thing.
Jeez, the thing is one ugly bitch.
Yeah, but it was just see that thing, bro. Like it was incredible. Like that's one of the coolest fish we've ever caught, in my opinion. The tarpon was really, really cool too in Colombia. That was incredible. But that Warsaw, we worked so hard. Like it's funny, like we go to the Colombia and first day fishing, like pitch bait at a rock and I hooked that giant tarpon. But like the Warsaw, we worked our butts off to get that fish.
Was it the same crew that you kept going with, or?
Yeah, Jason.
Same crew.
He's the man, dude. He's the man. That's the guy you want to go with. You want to get a Warsaw.
Wild. Thing is huge.
I get up to 500 pounds. I mean, there's so many cool things about how we caught it, where we caught it, like where to find them, how hard they are. Like it's so technical. I made 300-pound fluorocarbon. I made all the leaders myself. I didn't want to use cable, so we used 300-pound fluorocarbon. I tied all the rigs before we made the trip. We brought 6 130s over there. I mean, everything was just perfect in the last trip when we got it.
It all came together.
It's like that Warsaw would be like Anthony Guinness grandeur, like that. That's what it's like. That's what it felt like. Because like I said, like 3 years, bro, and before that we talked about it for 2-3 years before that. So it was like a 5-6 year idea that finally came alive.
It's a serious mission. Do you have any cool memories as far as offshore bill fishing goes?
Oh, Mag Bay is definitely one of them. We already talked about that. The Black Marlin experience in Tropic Star was was amazing. We put $25,000 in satellite tags in one day in marlin. That was really, really cool. Actually, recently I was out here on the boat. We're off Palm Beach. We found 2 blue marlin out here. They were free jumping. It was wild. They're out here, man. I don't care what anyone says. I mean, they're really out here.
Oh yeah. The people have been asking for our Palm Beach blue marlin tournament for a while now.
They're here. I know they are. We raised 2 of them last year. We were live baiting them with bonitas. Our problem is our bonitas are too big. I think if you went out here with an Omni, I'm gonna talk to Anthony about it. I think if you went out here with an Omni and you really put in two days, I think you'd be surprised.
Like a legit.
The marlin come in shallow here. They come into 100. The divers are feeding them. They hand feed 500-pound blue marlin. They're hand feeding them. You ever seen the videos of that?
I haven't, no.
Oh, you gotta look it up. Like these divers off Jupiter, they're hand feeding marlin sardines.
Oh.
Yeah, like giants, dude. Like the one they filmed 2 years ago was like 800 pounds. It's a big fish.
Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah, gotta make it happen.
Yeah, we get so many bonitas here. That's why they're hanging out. So they come in.
But it happens all the time. All the boats that have Sailfish Marina, they come back into Palm Beach and they have the blue marlin flag. I think 8/8s got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was telling Anthony he should put the 144 there. That's where it belongs.
Why would you say that?
Because that's where the Billfish fleet is.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. It's the right place for it.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, there's just something.
In the wintertime, bro, you have all your rock star tournament fishermen. They all have their boats there.
Oh, it's the best thing ever, man. That place is freaking paradise. I mean, what's better than Sailfish Marina on like Friday night? Like, it's the best. And you can walk the docks and look at all the beautiful boats, and the tournament scene there is sick, and Fisherman Center is right there, and the best.
West Palm Beach is. I mean, it used to be the mecca of fishing, man. This is like the West Palm Beach Fishing Club's over 100 years old. There's just so much rich history here, and I heard stories, dude, back in the day from the guys. So off Fort Lauderdale, my buddy's dad, they used to target surface swords off Fort Lauderdale. There was a school of bonita and blackfin and skipjacks from Key West to Palm Beach in the 70s. As thick as can be. They would get 2 swords a day. They would get a couple blue marlin a day, every day off Fort Lauderdale. Now you go fishing off Fort Lauderdale, you catch nothing almost. I mean, it's you got to really work hard there. You don't have what we have in Palm Beach. Miami and Palm Beach, I would say until you go in the Keys, Miami and Palm Beach are exceptional. And Stewart is very good as well for sailfish and for tuna and stuff like that. But like it's sad. Like this fishery used to be incredible here. It used to be unbelievable, and the commercial fishing pressure just crushed it.
Why do you think? Yeah, why do you think that is? Would you say it's definitely commercial fishing? Commercial?
Oh gosh, yeah, no. That school, dude. I haven't seen a skipjack tuna out here. I haven't caught one in almost 10 years. I'd say 8 years. I haven't seen one. That was in Miami. The last time I caught one off here at Palm Beach, we used to see them boiling on the surface, bro. I haven't seen them in a long time. It's just commercial pressure, dude. Like. That school of blackfins and skipjacks and bonitas, they were here for 6 months. That's when the boats would go and catch the surface swords out here. That's been gone for decades.
Wow.
Hasn't returned.
And what do you think about the whole shark problem? The Billfish community is pretty fired up about all the sharks eating all the sailfish and stuff off the Florida coast.
They need to make it illegal for the divers to feed the sharks. I mean, that's why they just never used to happen. So, because I'm a shark fisherman, I know, right? So that's all we used to want to catch for sharks. I didn't care about anything else, right? Mm-hmm. So in the wintertime, all the bull sharks and that stuff around here, a lot of them would migrate, they'd leave. They go into the Gulf of Mexico. They don't leave anymore. They get fed every day like a pelican at a fillet table. So we have this problem where we have this endless supply of sharks, and they're so trained. The moment you put your boat in reverse, the moment you do anything that they've learned means food, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's better not to put your boat in reverse with the sailfish. Like just fight them. The moment you start putting in reverse, they know, oh, there's a fish up there. The moment you stop the boat, they come up to you immediately. They know because there's so many boats that feed them now. There's dozens of dive boats that go there every day and feed them. They just think boats are food, just like pelicans think a fillet table is food.
Interesting. And you're saying that it's the dive boats that feed them, is what you're saying?
They feed them 3 times a day, every day, dozens of boats. It's insane. They're out there everywhere
And why do they feed them?
because they make so much money feeding them. Because they hit. I think they take 6 people. I could be wrong. 6 people per trip, 3 trips per day, $1,800 per trip for 6 people. You're making really good money, dude.
And
do the math.
When people could dive in the
And they're
water,
burning no fuel. They burn some chum. I mean, the sharks they already come up. Those boats are making thousands of dollars a day in profit.
then people jump in the water to go swim with the sharks.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jupiter and Palm Beach has become the new Bahamas. Like, people don't go to the Bahamas anymore that often to dive with sharks. We did a great job destroying that. I feel bad, but yeah, there's Tiger Beach in the Bahamas where people go and swim with tiger sharks. But the cheapest, fastest, easiest way, like Shark Week, they're out here all the time now, playing with these sharks. You know, they never leave. They don't migrate. That's why the poor sailfish in the winter, they get annihilated, because I've seen so many of them get eaten. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the worst.
It's really bad, but until they stop feeding the sharks, they're not going to go away. The commercial guys out here, they bang stick them like crazy. Like, you'll be out there and you'll just hear shotgun shells going off. They bang stick them like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, there's some serious anger towards the shark.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Last year, they were bang sticking them really, really bad. You would just hear it all the time. I wasn't out there this year in the spring because I was in the hospital, but there was a period last year for many, many weeks where we didn't even see a shark because they killed so many of them that, they smarten up. And I could tell because I tried chumming them up and they were so cautious coming to the boat. They're very smart. People don't realize how smart they are. They're not stupid. They know once things change, they know, don't want to play that game anymore.
Interesting.
But hey, am I for what they're doing, bang sticking them? Absolutely not. I think that's terrible because it's not the right way to solve the problem. You need to solve the problem. You need to stop them from feeding them. It's not natural. Sharks are not supposed to be hand fed by people. I don't think you should go around killing everything. It's like, hey, let's go kill the barracudas because they eat bonefish. No, that's not how you solve the problem.
No.
It's just it's part of the flats, man. It happens.
Ecosystem.
Yeah.
They're needed, but in moderation.
Exactly.
And what needs to happen is this, like, regulatory needs to come in and make it illegal to feed them.
They need to make it illegal in federal and state waters to feed sharks. Once they do that, it's over.
And what's the incentive to not do that? Lobbyists for the diving community?
Dude, I'll be honest. The diving community is not in the same mindset as the fishing community. So they're on 2 different spectrums, and they've always been fighting each other. They don't like each other. And look, I find it incredible how these dive boats can get insurance when they're feeding sharks and having people swim with sharks, but yet charter captains all over the country are struggling getting insurance for their charter fishing boats. Explain that to me.
Yeah.
How is that fair? Guy wants to go catch some red snapper, and he's got to pay thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 of insurance. But these dive boats can go out there and feed sharks and have people jump in the water and swim with them. And they've all been bit. They all get bit. And they all lie about getting bit because, it was the boat propeller. I know. I'm not going to say how I know, but I know. Yeah. So it's just, if they stop feeding the sharks in less than 2 years, everything would kind of go back to normal. The sharks would leave. I think they'd hang around for a little bit, but I think within 2 years, it would reset itself.
You think there's a point where it has gone too far and it won't reset?
No, because sharks need food. And if they're not being fed, and there's no natural food around. Because once the bonitas and everything else migrates offshore, there's not much fish, right? Like in the fall off Palm Beach, like November and December, there's not much out there, dude. Like that's our very slow periods. Like there's a lot near the shoreline, like jacks. We get a lot of, you know, of our coastal species migrating, like jack crevalles, redfish, stuff like that. And the sharks will go into the inlets and eat and feed in there. But your silkies, your duskies, your sandbars, they just piece up. There are more sandbars out here than I've. NOAA has sandbars listed as an endangered species. There is no way they're endangered. They are the most abundant shark. They're in Cape Cod. I've caught them in Cape Cod. I've caught them in New York. I've caught them in North Carolina. I've caught them in Florida. They're in Texas. They're everywhere. They're in Louisiana. They're along the entire coastline and in the Gulf. Sam, every square inch of the ocean is full of these things. I mean, they're not endangered. They need to get some real science out there. And if anything, if you look at the blacktip shark population, it's been annihilated. I used to see schools of tens of thousands of them, right? Like you see 25,000 at a time. This year, I think the biggest cluster of sharks I saw was maybe 200. Yeah, they're just, and scientists go, oh, it's global warming. No, it's not global warming, because that means they'd have to be somewhere else. And they aren't somewhere else. There was always two schools of blacktips. There'd be one that would come off the Palm Beaches area from Jupiter down to Delray. And then there'd be another school that would hang up near Fort Pierce and Sebastian. And actually, the school up north would be mostly females. There'd be a lot more females up there, and the school down south would all be males. But the school south now there's nothing left. They get sold commercially. You can go to any Publix here in Florida and buy blacktip shark steaks. I got pictures on my phone of me and Publix taking pictures of it. Like, that's a shark. A blacktip. They don't eat a lot of. The only fish they'll eat ever is a pompano that you catch. Mm-hmm. They don't bother people. They get preyed upon by bull sharks, tigers, hammerheads. They're like bonefish. They're very, very skittish. So they're not a threat. I mean, they do bite a lot of people, though. I will say that a lot of those shark bites that you see in New Smyrna, those are all blacktips. It's a shark that really isn't affecting the fisheries that much, and having a lot of them isn't a problem. But like sandbars, for example, they're a nuisance. They eat everything. Like, they eat your snapper, they eat your wahoo, they eat your kingfish. They'll attack anything. They're fearless sharks. Dude, when I'm on the boat, you can't put your foot on the gunnel. They will come up and try to bite your feet. I'm not joking you.
That bad.
That bad. If you have your hand over the side of the gunnel, they're 100% going to bite it. 100%. Because they think it's food, because they get fed so many times.
Are they still over in Fort Pierce and Sebastian?
Pardon me?
You said you won't find them down south anymore, but are they still up north in Fort Pierce and Sebastian?
Then that school is still up there, but it's harder to find them up there because the water is not as clean. Gotcha. But there's no way the numbers are as strong as they used to be. You gotta remember, they migrate south, so like the ones that come down here, that's all of them, dude. Like it used to be the largest shark migration in the world. I don't think it is anymore.
All right. Well,
but when the sailfish out here, like I was out actually fishing with Trump Jr. On Friday. I took him on his boat. We broke it in. We caught 3 sails. Summertime sails off Palm Beach are so much fun. Like, you get them in deeper water. The sharks don't bother them. And that's when they're breeding. So you hook a big female. The males will follow her, and you can pitch baits at them. Get 2 or 3 on at a time. It's a lot of fun. The water's calm. I love kite fishing. Like, I love it so much. But wintertime sail fishing it's a lot of work. It's gotta be rough. You need a nice wind. You get beat up. It's colder. It's wetter. You gotta earn your bites sometimes a lot more than others. But summertime, it's just fun.
Yeah, it's calm.
It's relaxing. It's really hot, but it's a lot more fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on a good summer day, you can catch 10 no problem. Put your time in. No problem.
The guys, I think the other day, off the chain, I think caught 6, like in a half day. Crushed it.
Yeah, no,
it's out of Stewart, but crushed it.
Stewart is that's one of the places where they get really thick. Out there at between 90 and 150 feet of water, you can just whack them out there.
They're crushing. All right, man. Well, in closing, it's been really, really cool. What would you say is a piece of advice that you would give for my younger cousins, but anyone who kind of wants to start doing YouTube for whatever niche that they're in? Doesn't have to be fishing.
Be original, be consistent, don't cheat, don't clickbait, don't lie, make sure you have integrity, respect. Number one, respect local fishermen. Don't burn spots. That's one thing that we always made the most effort for was never to burn spots. We would always ask the captain that we went on with, hey, is there anything you don't want us to film? Is there any particular structure? Do you want us? You got to respect that, because a lot of people they earn their living there, so respect that. And don't do it because you might make money. Do it because you love it. If you're doing it for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I think one important thing is also a quote from Steve Jobs, was that the only way you can really be great at anything that you do is if you really love it, because whatever you're going to do is going to be quite difficult, and there will be hardship and there will be hard times, and the only way you can get through that is if you love it.
Yeah, like right now I can't actually catch fish because of my condition. I just can't use that much pressure because I have a huge hernia from the surgery. It's unfortunate, but and I can't get it fixed because I have another problem, which it's another whole conversation. But anyways, so right now I have to just enjoy being out there, and I do. I enjoy the rigging. I enjoy like I always tell people, if you want to become a great fisherman, learn how to rig and actually enjoy it. If you don't enjoy rigging, you're just a charter fisherman. That's all you are. You're just like, oh, hand me the rod, another bite, cool. But with me, like, I was like, okay, well, how can we change the presentation to get a better bite? Or how can we fish this spot? Like, that's how my brain works. I always want to keep, that's that physicist engineering kind of mindset, that programming mindset I have. Like, how can we change things up here to make things better? And you have to love the process. If you don't love the process, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, it's the journey, not destination.
Yep.
Thanks for coming on the pod, man. It was really insightful. I love that this pod was a little bit different, that we just didn't do just the fishing stuff, but kind of went a little bit more into your background and touched on AI and kind of did the whole full spectrum. I think it's interesting that people learn a little bit more about all it is that you stand for and what you do and who you are as a person. That's more than just catching fish.
Yeah, no, it's great, man.
Smart.
Where are you based out of?
I'm based out of Curacao. So I'm in the Caribbean. So I kind of fished Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao while I was growing up, and I was back and forth with the United States throughout my entire childhood. So I did kite fishing there. I did Pirates Cove in North Carolina. I did Mac Bay. I did Los Sueños. I did DR. I kind of everywhere, but mostly dead bait trolling. And mostly bill fishing, pretty much exclusively. Hence the name Billfish.
Yeah. So what's your favorite fish to catch?
It has to be blue marlin. I mean, nothing compares to it. The bite. I mean, kind of what you said about rigging. For me, that's the bite. I think a lot of people share that point of view, which is that there's nothing better than seeing a blue marlin bite. It comes in the teaser and you take it away and you switch it with the bait and it just happens. There's so many things that can go wrong in that little 15-second window.
Yeah, I know.
And when it all comes together, you're like, if you explain to someone, you were able to manage to get a fish to come on a hookless bait, then make it switch to a different one that actually has a hook in it while not being hooked, like just making it do that. Like, what? You know what I mean? There's so much mechanics to that. And the funny thing too is that you can go like with your engineer brain, you can think endlessly about like, what could you've done better? Should the flat line be?
That's what I always think about, is how can you improve?
Yeah.
You know what I told Anthony, and I think I recommend for you is, I don't know how much cobia fishing you've done. So when I went to Virginia and I did the sight fishing for cobia, I think you would really, really, really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things to do in fishing because you have a 10 to 15 second window. You see them, you have such a small window to try to get them to eat the lure. And a lot of times they won't eat a lure. They won't eat a dead bait. They won't eat a live bait. They won't eat nothing. They'll just keep swimming and tell you to screw off. And really it's such an, like, that's the thing with what I love about billfish, right? Is they can be unpredictable. They can be like, wow, why aren't you doing this? And then you could go out there and Grander could, like, the biggest one I ever caught was caught on a half day charter, the 1805 or whatever it was, caught on a half day trip in Hawaii. And the customers didn't even want to catch it. The captain finished fighting the fish. Biggest marlin I ever caught. Everyone dreams of that fish, and those people didn't even care about it, right? So, it could happen like that. But with cobia, to me, it's like it's that rush. You're driving around all day. You're hunting, right? And then you find like a pair, 260 pounders just cruising, and you have to have the perfect cast. You have to have the perfect presentation, and all of that could mean absolutely nothing. And then they sink down below and they're gone forever. You never see them again.
Yeah.
You will love it. I promise you. You got to try it.
Well, definitely. Yeah, I definitely will. No, very cool. But yeah, man, thanks for hopping on, and we'll stay in contact, and wish you speedy recovery, and
thank you.
Hopefully you can be back there and actually catching your own fish and getting after
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. It means a lot.
No, of course. It was very cool. Thanks, man. We'll be in touch.
Take care. God bless. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.